If you're watching this video and you've already invested in the metaverse or you're planning on doing so in the next few weeks, then you're probably ahead of about 99% of the general public because we really are that early. So here are 5 ways a complete beginner can invest in the metaverse regardless of what your budget is. If you only have $100 to invest or if you have $100,000 to invest, it really doesn't matter too much. And if you're relatively risk averse like me, but you still want exposure to some potentially crazy gains, the fish strategy at the end of this video is my personal favorite because it just doesn't carry as much risk as some of the other methods, yet exponential returns are still very possible. Number 1. Buying metaverse tokens. One of the easiest ways to invest in the metaverse is buying tokens for a particular ecosystem. So this can literally take less than 5 minutes and is super easy to do. So Decentraland uses the Mana token, the Sandbox uses Sand, Axie Infinity uses AXS, and by buying any of these tokens, you're investing in that particular metaverse. And we can go to CoinMarketCap and see the most popular metaverse tokens by market cap. A lot of people are investing in these platforms by buying these tokens because they believe that they're going to be the leading metaverse one day. Let's say you want to buy Decentraland's Mana token. You can go to an exchange such as Coinbase, so all you have to do is go to the Coinbase website or app on your phone, find Mana, and click buy. Type in the amount, and it really is as simple as that. You're now invested in the metaverse. Number 2, buying metaverse assets. You can go one step further and buy individual assets from within the metaverse, such as land. Now this is slightly different to buying metaverse tokens. It's riskier because there are 2 things that must happen for the value of these individual assets to increase. Firstly, more and more people need to be joining that particular metaverse, whether it's Axie Infinity, Decentraland, the Sandbox, whatever it is. And the second thing is that people must be using those particular assets in that ecosystem. It's kind of like the equivalent of buying individual stocks on the stock market as opposed to buying into an index fund such as the S&P 500. Investing in an individual stock, let's say buying stocks in Tesla, is relatively risky because if Tesla is involved in some kind of scandal or financial difficulties, it's likely that their stock value will plummet and you'll lose a lot of the value of your investment. On the other hand, if you have your money invested in the S&P 500, so essentially you're investing in the 500 largest corporations by market capitalization listed in the New York Stock Exchange, you're spreading the risk across 500 separate companies. So now if the stock price of Tesla crashes, then it probably won't affect you too much. The downside, of course, is because you're lowering risk exposure, which is protecting you from any big drops in value of an individual company, you're also not going to benefit much if that particular company performs really well and their stock market rises to reflect that. Really, it's just about how tolerant to risk you are. If you're investing with a small amount of money that you can afford to lose, then buying individual assets from within an ecosystem such as the land in Decentraland could be a good idea. But if you're more risk averse, then investing in tokens for those ecosystems such as Decentraland Mana could be a better strategy for you. Again, buying NFTs within a metaverse can be really straightforward. So let's use Decentraland as an example. If you want to buy land in Decentraland, then you can go to an NFT marketplace such as OpenSea, type into search Decentraland, make sure that Decentraland has a blue verification tick next to it because there are a lot of fake Decentralands. Click on it, scroll down on the filter and choose price low to high, and there you can go ahead and buy your own piece of land in the metaverse. And before you buy, you will need to go to an exchange such as Coinbase or Binance and buy Ethereum. You then move that Ethereum to your wallet such as MetaMask or Coinbase wallet, and from there you can make your purchases on OpenSea. If you've not bought anything on OpenSea before, it's a lot easier than you might think. I made a video on how to buy your first NFT in 3 very simple steps. You can click on the pop-up banner above to watch that, because using that step-by-step tutorial, you can follow along and buy your very own piece of land in the metaverse. Number 3, investing in Ethereum. Alright, so let's say that buying land in the metaverse is too risky for you. Let's say even buying metaverse tokens is too risky for you. One of the safest investments, and I say that very loosely because everything in the metaverse space is relatively high risk, is to buy and hold Ethereum. You'll notice that all the top metaverse projects, Axie Infinity, Decentraland, the Sandbox, they're all built on the Ethereum blockchain. So as these metaverses expand and start to gain even more traction, they'll take the price of Ethereum with them. But maybe more importantly, Ethereum gives you broad exposure to all the different metaverses on the blockchain. So let's say hypothetically Axie Infinity and Decentraland suddenly fail and the NFTs and tokens fall to zero. If you've invested in Ethereum, you have exposure to the base layer, so you have exposure to all the other metaverses that didn't fail. And also in the future, if you have another metaverse on the Ethereum blockchain that suddenly blows up, then you're still indirectly invested in that game because you're holding Ethereum. Number 4, investing in Meta. So Meta, formerly known as Facebook, are one of the biggest investors, if not the biggest investor in the metaverse right now. They're spending at least $10 billion in just 1 year on Facebook Reality Labs, which is its metaverse division created to develop AR and VR hardware, software and content. Now this is slightly controversial because one of the main aims of the metaverse and blockchain technology in general is the fact that everything should, at least in theory, be decentralized. Of course, Facebook over the last decade have been aggressively monopolizing Web 2.0 and abusing their handling of data privacy. But at the same time, you can't deny the fact that they're really promoting Web 3.0 technology to the masses with their Oculus VR headsets and creating their own metaverse. So by investing in the shares of Meta as they expand into the metaverse and their share price grows, you will also financially benefit. And they have everything they need to succeed. They have almost unlimited funding, some of the best developers on the planet, and they have the experience of monopolizing Web 2.0, so they can bring that experience to help them with their push towards Web 3.0. And that's experience that no other company on the planet has. And I just want to illustrate just how much influence Meta have in the metaverse space. They announced their name change from Facebook to Meta on the 28th of October 2021, and in doing so, the price of tokens in other metaverses shot through the roof. So you can see on the 27th of October, a day before the announcement, Decentraland's Mana token was selling at 75 cents. Just 3 days later, after Meta's announcement, Mana quadrupled to $3.56. But not only that, the price of Mana held at around $2.50 to $3.50. Now, it never dropped back to its original baseline of around 75 cents. To this day, even with the recent cryptocurrency bear market, Mana's value is still holding. And I think the reason for this is because Meta's name change was a signal to the world that the metaverse is coming. And so people become far more bullish on metaverse tokens such as Mana, Sand and EXS. 5. Metaverse Index. Alright, so I used an example earlier of investing in stocks and shares indexes such as the S&P 500 rather than investing in individual companies such as Tesla to lower your risk. So what if there was an index designed to capture the movements of the entire metaverse? Well, fortunately now there is. The Metaverse Index is essentially an aggregation of lots of different metaverse tokens. So you can see they have all the big names such as ETHEREUM, Axie, Sandbox and Decentraland. And for me personally, because I'm relatively risk averse, at least compared with most people in the NFT space, I'd be quite happy to just leave a relatively large chunk of cash invested in the Metaverse Index and just holding it there long term, because your investment is spread out across multiple platforms. You're not betting on just one metaverse to explode, but of course on the other hand, you're not going to benefit as much if one platform does skyrocket compared with if you were to invest solely in that one platform. So again, it all comes down to how risk tolerant you are. So to invest in the Metaverse Index is a very similar process to how we buy NFTs on OpenSea. The first step is to buy your Ethereum or Polygon on an exchange such as Binance or Coinbase. Using Polygon would mean far cheaper gas fees, so it's probably more recommended in this case. Step 2, you move your Ethereum or Polygon onto your MetaMask wallet or Coinbase wallet or whatever wallet you're using, and then you can go to Index Coop to buy your MVI tokens. Now, a YouTuber called The Crypto Investor does a far better job of taking you step by step on how to buy MVI on the Polygon chain, which will save you a lot when it comes to gas fees, so I'll link his video. You can click on the pop-out banner above to watch that. For me, I think diversifying risk exposure is super important, meaning buying into some low risk investments such as stocks and shares, indexes, i.e. not related to the metaverse, then investing in some medium risk investments such as Ethereum or Bitcoin, so more stable cryptocurrencies, or maybe into the Metaverse Index, so you're not just relying on one single metaverse to survive, and finally buying into some high risk investments such as land within the metaverse or metaverse tokens. And like I mentioned earlier in this video, if this is your first time investing into the metaverse, I made a step-by-step tutorial on how you can buy your first NFT. This could be a piece of land in Decentraland or just a standard NFT project. You can click on the card on the screen. Alternatively, I made another video on why NFTs could skyrocket your investment portfolio. Again, you can click on the card on the screen, and whichever video you choose, I'll see you over there.